Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Shit, dude, good to see you.
You too. It's been a long time.
Oh
Well,
yeah, man.
almost exactly a year.
Dude, literally a year, man.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's
You know.
yes, it's good to catch up. It's good to see that you're doing things. You're making it by through this entire world collapsing and all of that, man. So.
You've got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Damn right, damn
Even if
right.
that's just doing nothing and enjoying relaxing. We're not going to get the chance to do this again, are we? So you've got to do it.
I like that. That's actually a really nice take on it, man. You're not gonna get a chance to do this again, so I guess take the time out and use your free time wisely, man.
It's always silver linings.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So what have you been doing this throughout this I don't know what you want to call it, global crisis, global chaotic mayhem.
Just the meltdown of society. Yeah, no, not much has really
Meltdown our
changed for me. I've
society.
carried on working the whole time because, I work with children with special needs. There's still had to have been a lot in place for them and their needs. So
Shit.
I've carried on working throughout the whole thing, really, which has
Big up, man.
been nice. Yeah, what about you?
It's been a bit of a wild one, kind of first 3-4 months, just no work. I've recently started a new job.
Cool.
And the jazz club that I was working at in the beginning of the year, it's opening up on Saturday, so it's gonna be good to get back into it, man. I got a message from them yesterday, so that's really good news.
That must be sick. You must be
Yeah.
chuffed.
So wait, you were saying you're working with kids?
Yeah, I work in a nursery for kids with special needs.
Wow,
So it's
man.
like we get because we're an assessment nursery, so we get the kids in and then we hang around with them for 2 years and then see what their needs are, which schools around the city might be best suited for them. And, yeah, we've got nurses and therapists, occupational physiotherapists, all just working as a team with the kids.
Wow.
So we decide what they need and where they're going to go and what their education may or may not look like. Yes.
The
Well, I
full
love
package, man. The full package. That's cool, dude. So what, you're doing this in Scotland now? When did you move? It was like the beginning of this year, hey?
It was last April, but it was earlier than that. I moved into this flat last April, but I was
Right,
I was working up here and just staying up here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it must have been like November or December or something.
No, because I remember at Boomtown we were talking about this. You did say that you were moving, or you had just recently moved to Scotland. Whereabouts in Scotland are you staying now? What did you say?
In Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Ah, man. I've only heard good stuff about Edinburgh. Only good
Oh, it's
stuff.
awesome.
Dude. Yeah. How's the winter though?
Absolutely
'Cause
brilliant.
that's a selling point for me, man. If it's too cold, dude, I would step foot there, dude.
Well, once you're in Scotland, your definition of cold changes.
Yeah. Completely whole new definition of what cold really is. Damn,
Like
man.
if it gets above 20 degrees, that is just heavens above.
You're
That's
living
amazing.
life, eh? You're living life. No, that's insane, dude. No, it's cool, man. Honestly, and I know we were talking the other day, and I'm definitely gonna take you up on it on coming to visit, dude, because it's definitely been the one thing that I've been wanting to do since I got to England, because I've heard such good things about Scotland and the scenery and the mountains that you can hike up, and the lakes that you can visit are absolutely beautiful. Also the whiskey distilleries is quite a selling point for me over there, dude. No, but it's good to hear that you're enjoying it, man. You're loving it over there.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of places to show you when you do come up.
Hell yeah, man. How's the music been going, man? I mean, first off, I gotta say thank you, for taking the time out to do this. First and foremost, and also just to catch up, dude. It's been good. It's been a crazy year.
Yeah, it has. It has, and no, thank you. It's always fun. It's good to catch up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've actually since lockdown basically not really done much music at all, if any. I've done bits and bobs with collaborative things, and I released my album earlier in the year,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a huge project. So I think after that, and with the lack of gigs and
Yeah.
the lack of inspiration in the same way, I haven't really felt up for making music since
Yeah. Yeah.
March, really. And yeah, my album came out in April, so it's kind of since the end of that, I've made 2 or 3 tracks and a few things collaboratively.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. I mean, I've got plans for more music in the future. I've got collaboration EP coming out. I've got a couple of solo tracks on compilations to come out soon. So I'll get
Nice.
back to it. It's just
Yeah. No, I agree, dude. It's been a bit of a, let's kind of take this time as some downtime, reassess, reevaluate. If you feel the need to make some music, go ahead and do it. I mean, I heard your track
absolutely.
with Cyanide. I think it literally just got released like yesterday or the beginning of this week on
Yeah, it was last week. I think it was last Friday.
was it last week? Yeah, it was literally
I think so.
in the last few days. Because I heard the
Well,
preview on
maybe
Soundtrack.
they did the Bandcamp earlier than the other sites, so there was like 2 release dates.
No, it's a banging track, dude. I mean, that whole album, it's just Jesus.
Yeah,
Incredible
it's a big
tunes,
album.
incredible artists, man. So congratulations, well done, and it's a it's a big, yeah, it's a big tune, dude. I know you were talking to me. When was it? Last week or a couple of years ago? You were saying how the album you were working on, is that the same album? Because I know you took quite a lot of time to get into it. I mean, it was like you say, a big project.
Yeah, it took. I was working on an album, the same album, but I was working on it whilst living in Sheffield, and
Mm-hmm.
back then, again, I was going through the same type of thing as I am now. I wasn't really feeling that inspired. I wasn't really getting anything I was particularly proud of done.
Mm-hmm.
And the music I was making, I was making the high tech with George, the
Yeah,
Refied
yeah,
Dream stuff.
yeah.
So then I basically did the album once I moved up here. So I literally made the first track for the album I made on essentially the day we moved in here. I set up the studio and then was like, right, let's try out the new room.
Yeah.
Made the track, and that became the first track of the album. So I restarted it completely when I moved up here.
Fresh start, hey?
Yeah, so in some ways it would have been the same album, and in some ways it's a completely different one,
I mean, my take on that is you took a lot of care into the album, and it sounds like you wanted to develop the best possible ideas. And if the inspiration wasn't hitting, rather not force something, because I think all artists kind of fall into that trap of let's just kind of force something out. I mean, I'm definitely a culprit over here, where it's just like let's just get some music out, just for the sake of completing something. But it sounds like you really took the time, and concentration to produce something that's actually worthwhile, and that you feel that is, you know, good enough for yourself, not just for a release date.
Yeah, I mean that was always a big thing in my mind. In some ways I was worried about Nico and Digital Shamans, and they were wanting the album a certain time to fit in between certain releases.
Mm-hmm.
Then wasn't happy with the whole concept of it, and it's a mindset which can be hard to get out of, and I really had to work to get out of that mindset myself, of not just churning out whatever happens and calling that the album, just a bunch of tracks just a stream of musical consciousness, and not make it that, and make each track and the journey itself a particular idea. So I wasn't starting anything unless I had a particular idea for that track, whether that was just a little experiment I wanted to try on, a new plugin I'd got which I wanted to try out, or whether it was a musical idea which I'd had to incorporate into a track. But yeah, it was I made a very conscious decision not to start anything unless I had an idea of what I was going to.
I highly respect that. You're not just making music for music's sake. You're letting the music speak for itself rather than being, I guess, pressured not only by yourself, by, I guess, external forces that you know kind of pressurize you to release or to get stuff done by a certain date. Whereas if you take a step back and just let the music speak for itself and let the music write for yourself, with a specific idea in mind, and yeah, like you say, it's a journey. You want to create that nice long enjoyable journey, not just a track over here, track over here, track over here, and then you call it a compilation CD, which I guess has its uses, it has its own benefits, and not
Oh,
knocking it.
absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, I think in terms of something more personal, yeah, I highly commend that. I highly respect that. I guess we could take it back and just talk about what are some inspirations, what that get you going, in a sense that you will you listen to something, will you see something? Because I feel that living in Scotland, it's probably brought a nice, better, bigger sense of inspiration or sense of creative freedom, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, especially with, new people to be around, you'll always find new music and you'll find yourself hanging out at different gigs and bars which will have different music playing
Mm.
and just different feels of the city. Whereas, Sheffield, for example, was a really industrial city, well, ex-industrial, but it still feels like an industrial city, whereas Edinburgh feels a lot more like, academic, I guess. It's like
Okay, yeah.
much more university based, and there's plaques for all these philosophers and
Yeah,
political
yeah.
scientists everywhere, and it's that all feeds into it. And I
Okay.
guess when I started this job as well, I was having a conversation with my stepdad actually
Right,
about some of the inspirations for the album,
right.
and I can remember he picked out a sound and it was like, oh, that sound, like what was that sound? And I was like, actually, that sound was like a direct inspiration from one of the kids I was working with who made this sound. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could try and recreate a sound similar to that, which had the same
Mm.
the same shape of the sound that he made.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, so it's all things like that. And I guess inspirations come without you really thinking about them,
Yeah, yeah.
and you notice them more when you're looking back and you listen to the changes in the music I was making and the place I was in my life at that
Mm-hmm.
stage.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was a lot more. I was listening to a lot more metal while I was making that as well. I was finding myself listening to a lot of different music. I found,
Mm.
because I love Sheffield, the music scene is absolutely incredible. But
Yeah,
you find yourself in certain cliques and
yeah,
groups and
yeah,
going to the same nights every so often because they're great. Whereas here I was going to completely different places and
yeah.
seeing like all these doom metal bands which I hadn't really been into in the same way before.
Okay.
Yes, all sorts of things, I guess.
No, I can see where you come from. I mean, not to knock Sheffield, because you've told me some stories about some of the parties that you yourself and George have played at. Yeah, it's pretty crazy town. From what I've heard.
That's
But I agree.
brilliant.
Sometimes a place, when you're there too long, and for long enough, it can become quite stagnant. And the sources of inspiration, you find them becoming less and less. So when you go to a new place, you're almost bringing your mind into a fresh perspective, which I guess you're a lot more open to certain ideas. And as you say, Edinburgh has quite a higher standard of, maybe you say academia, where there's ideas of philosophy, and your mind can just gravitate to all these certain aspects of a new town, and kind of be those sparks for inspiration. Because I know, we spoke a long time ago, and you started off producing drum and bass, I think that was one of
Yeah.
your first styles of electronic music that you were producing when you were like what 10, 12. So a lot has changed.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of secondary school. I can remember we were, Pendulum was the big thing, and we were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
getting into drum for Pendulum, I guess around like the Sub Focus era,
Right.
and we were making these. The music room had these, like the standard little keyboards, but you could program little drum beats onto. So we were
Uh-huh.
making little drum and bass beats, me and my two mates in our music lesson, and then yeah, it was it took a few years for us to really get into it because we were so young, so we couldn't go out to the clubs and hear this
Yeah.
music in the situations it was intended for. So we were making these awful, like tinny, cheesy little drum and bass tunes. But then, just when we were like 16,
Yeah.
and we got fake IDs and we started going out in Manchester and going to the big drum and bass nights. And just around then, the school got a little recording studio. They got like a big art foundation grant, and they got this recording studio. So we used to just go and sit in the studio with, they had the Yamaha HS8s and
Right, right.
big analog mixing desk and everything. It was the real deal. So
Yeah.
me and my two mates, Ed and Finn, just sat in there, just making this bloody awful drum and bass, and until we actually learned what we were doing.
But don't you miss that sometimes? Just going into a new environment, with the first time being in a studio or producing music or something, and all you want to do is you just got all these ideas in your head and you just want to throw them on, down and just start messing about and just see what kind of comes out, and then I guess the more your techniques and skills advance, you almost start to limit yourself a little bit. It's like, okay, I know I want to make this sound, I know how to make this sound, rather than kind of just going with the flow of things. And even though it turns out to be a crappy session, you still just not limited yourself or not restricted yourself. So in terms of I guess nostalgia, that's a great way of looking back at things. Just
Absolutely.
to be in an environment, just be like, yeah, let's just, whatever happens, let's just make it happen. Nah, yeah,
I'm trying
it's
to
good.
think of the last time I had that feeling. I guess it was just over a year ago. It was like some of the last stuff I was doing in Sheffield.
Yeah.
I was in this band called Mango Rescue Team, and
Yes.
me and a couple of guys out of the band, we wanted to do exactly that. Just get out of our comfort zone, do something a bit, see what happens. And we ended up, I just on a complete off chance just bought a double bass. A guy came up to the pub I was working at and said, "Do you know anyone who wants to buy a double bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, how much do you want?" So I rang up my boss and I was like, "Can I take the money out the till and I'll pay it back out of my paycheck?" So I just bought a double bass on the spot. So then we were like, "Okay, let's just do something." And we just got together and we started playing this like Russian and Balkan folk music.
Hell yeah.
But then we were putting like break beats underneath it whilst I was playing the double bass, and he was on accordion, and then I had a guy on trumpet, and it was just wild. And
Nice.
we did 2 gigs, both of which were completely crap. They were just terrible. But we just had so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
matter. It was just to see how it went.
That's the beauty of that's exactly it. That's I think the essence of maybe one part of what makes music so great is just getting out your comfort zone, just throwing a bunch of ideas together, and if it sounds crap, what does it matter, as long as you're having fun and enjoying yourself. I mean, it could be crap, you're probably going to get some beer thrown at you, from 1 or 2 people, but whatever, man, it's just bringing that kind of unique vibe to it.
Catch.
Yeah, exactly. They just want you to drink, man. Just trying to get you, get back into that vibe. No, that's awesome, man. Are you still playing the double bass as much, or you still trying to get those kind of musical, situations going? Because obviously, I don't know how many people you got living, in Scotland, in terms of that, but.
I was just about to start getting confident enough to go to the jazz bar, which is just down the road. It's a brilliant
Nice.
jazz bar. I
Nice.
could show you that place as well when you come up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? you should come up during Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival because it is awesome.
Okay, when
Really
is this?
good.
I'll write the date down actually.
Not sure of the dates next year, but it's normally around like the end of July, the beginning of August. It's just before the Fringe. So the Fringe Festival happens the week after the Jazz and Blues
Sick.
Festival.
No, dude, big time, man. I mean, you know, through working at a jazz club, you know, myself, it's just such a beautiful genre of music, and they're so creative and so expressive, and the instruments that can be involved with jazz, like, it just blows your mind, you know. I mean, it's really, really incredible. And I like there's a signal dropped.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you good?
Wait, am I missing?
Yeah, you're missing
Okay.
just the camera. Yeah.
Weird. Just turned it off and on again.
Oh, no, I've gone. There you go. Oh, it might be a signal. Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Strange. Oh, there I am.
I'm seeing something. There you go. But
Cool.
yeah, man,
Sorry
no,
about that.
that's all right. It's all right, man. Yeah, dude. Honestly, jazz is definitely a genre that I've fallen, you know, quite deeply in love with, man. And yeah, I will happily, you know, go. I would probably choose to go to a jazz festival or jazz club, you know, over any kind of bar, or even maybe you know, a rave these days. You know, I find the environment a lot more. I wouldn't say inviting, but just enjoyable. I mean, not to knock raves or anything, because those are pretty crazy in itself. But
Where are we coming from, you know?
yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, it's a shame that you haven't haven't had a chance to do much DJing. But I wanted to get your thoughts on just how, you know, this pandemic and this chaos has kind of affected the music industry or the entertainment industry as a whole, because it is, you know, it's like it's really impacted it massively. Have you been involved in a lot of these live streams?
Yeah, I've done a few of them. I've tried not to get into too many because, you know, I haven't been making as much music, so I didn't want to like play the same set to the same people over and over again.
For sure.
But there's been some fantastic ones. Absolutely fantastic live streams. It's just been great just having them on in the background and being like, oh shit, this is like, I can take it on my own terms. Yeah, I'm still listening to Giuseppe play.
Yeah.
I can just like have it at the volume I want. I can hang around with some mates. I can have it on headphones. I can listen back to it in the morning if I want to. So, you know, in some ways it's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, not having to pay £100 and then another £200 for travel, and then, you know, seeing a modem line up in your bedroom. You know, of course we want to be at modem.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic just to be able to have all those artists playing.
There's pros and cons to the whole situation, but I agree with what you're saying. You know, just having that kind of lineup and that kind of quality of music, just, you know, at the comfort of your own home, it brings a lot to it. But the I think the biggest element that is missing is that, you know, connection, that kind of interpersonal space where you're there with people sharing that experience, you know, on the dance floor. It does, you know, make a big difference. But I'm really happy to see how the music industry has adapted to this you know, situation, and, you know, God willing, you know, things are going to change very soon. I mean, you know, jazz club opening, you know, in Nottingham is opening on Saturday, so that's a good sign.
So looking positive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's, you know, I like the adaptation of it. It's been a good way of dealing with things and just keeping the, you know, excitement and the vibe alive. But I'm sure you can't wait to get back to, you know, to touring and just getting back on stage and, you know, playing your new music.
Oh, of course. I've almost forgotten what it's like.
Really? Oh man, I bet. I bet. No, it's. I've seen some videos of you because you've traveled all over, pretty much all over the world. You know, and I don't think it's right to ask for any favorites, but I mean, I'm sure you can definitely say that there is a lot of differences through each music scene in the country that brings a whole new kind of unique character to the environment and to the dance floor, but it all remains the same thing, is that you're bringing some kind of excitement and happiness to people. But if you have any, like, I guess, top stories or favorites, man, like, please feel free to share.
Oh well, many stories, but I think like the some gigs in places which really stand out, I guess.
Yeah.
New Caledonia has to be up there. Just incredible, an incredible place to get to visit, incredible people, and I'm not going to lie, I barely even heard of New Caledonia before I went. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know anything about the place, it was, and just arrived there, and it was this whole other world, just almost disconnected to the rest of the world, and so far away from anywhere. It's just this. But considering it was such a small little island, they managed to do like 3 parties in 2 weeks, and all of them were rocking. It was fantastic. There was such a great little scene out there, and it was, I guess, not only because the place was stunningly beautiful, but
for sure,
just the fact that it made me realise that the scene is even prominent and respected and loved, even in these tiny little places. People don't initially even think of. You can India, Brazil, those places are, they're huge. The scene is huge over there.
Yeah.
But the scene is just as vibrant. Little islands,
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the island itself must have been insane. For starters, were you there? Were you there for just the festival, or did you get to do much traveling?
No, I stayed there for a bit. We were there for 3 weeks. I think we were there for 3 weeks. So we did 3 parties over there. We did a tour of the island with the guy Hugo we were staying with. Absolute legend.
Nice.
Yeah, and he took us around to the different parts of the island. He was showing us like the world's most poisonous snakes and squids, and trees growing DMT, and all these beaches and local art sellers standing by the cliffs, and it was crazy. Whole fields of carnivorous plants.
What?
Amazing stuff.
No, I mean, as far as travel stories, dude, that tops it, man. Like, that is by far one. And I'm almost picturing the place myself, dude. But do you have any like videos or pictures that you've shared from your experience?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. So I think I've got an album on Facebook somewhere.
Rocking, man. No, like after movie of yourself, playing at the festivals.
Oh, we should have done, man. I don't know why we didn't really. We never did that at all for any of them. Like we were in Brazil for 3 months. We didn't do anything. We could have had a fantastic after movie. But
for sure, but you know what?
I think
You know what I say to that though? I think that's a good thing, because you were so caught up, in the moment. You weren't thinking, I gotta do this for Facebook. I gotta get this thing sorted. You were kind of like just fully, present in the beauty of the place that you were, and I guess the people that you were surrounded by. So I think that's a great thing. Definitely. Jesus, man, no, that's amazing. I mean, that's the one thing. I think anyone wants in the world is to be able to travel and to be able to just experience new places and experience new food, new people. I guess as far as not being a DJ, what could you say is by far the best festival that you've gone to as just a punter?
Oh, damn. Can I give 2 for different reasons?
For sure, yeah.
I'm gonna say Glade Festival back when that was running.
Oh yeah.
I think that was probably the best parties I've ever been to, Glade. They were just everything you want a festival to be. They were just completely free. So many genres of music, all of them top lineups, and just the people were amazing. There was the perfect stalls and cafes, and everything about it was just so meticulously. I thought it was just fun, just real good. And I think the other one is, I know they're both UK festivals. Right. I don't know, maybe that's just, UK culture's just ingrained in me a bit. But the other one isn't an electronic music festival. It's one called Tropical Pressure, which is down in Cornwall. Oh. Yeah, and it's a world music festival. So like on Fridays they do a Caribbean, so they get loads of bands, the Caribbean, and then there's like Latin night, and then there's Afro night, and they just they get bands which have never played in the UK before, and it's on this beautiful hilltop overlooking the beach, and it's only like 2,000 people. Okay, it's tiny. There's only two stages. Yeah. There's a main stage and a little acoustic stage. That's it.
Nice.
And it's just fantastic.
So you're saying it's because of the, I guess, the type of music that they're presenting, and also that because it's only 2,000 people, it's quite close knit. It's more intimate a little bit. And you say it was Cornwall, right?
Yeah, down in Cornwall. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard amazing things about Cornwall. Unfortunately, when I went to Cornwall, it was completely grey, just raining and everything. So my one and only experience of Cornwall is just, England, really.
So 9 out of 10 visits to Cornwall, yeah.
yeah. I need to go back, dude. I need to see the true Cornwall, man. Oh, dude, no, I'm really happy that you've been able to explore and see so many different places. I've heard so much good things about Glade Festival, eh?
It was where I discovered psytrance. The origin stage at Glade was just fantastic. It was the first time I'd heard a 360 Function 1 sound system. Nice. It was the first time I'd seen big scale decorations like that. And you had everything. You had Adja playing, you had Sprungel playing, and I was 17, I think, and I was seeing this. This is just
blew
the
your mind, eh?
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, it sounds like Glade Festival has either kind of, could you say that, Noisely might have kind of been the evolution of that festival, or maybe Boomtown to a certain degree. Because with Boomtown, obviously, it's everything.
Yeah, I'd say. I've never been to Noisely, but I know that Chris was involved in Glade quite a lot as well, and there was a lot of crossover there. So I really need to make it at some point. I've heard amazing.
Yeah.
I think Boomtown had some connection to Glade as well, didn't it? Because it was Glade was on the Matterley Bowl at some point. Same place Boomtown is.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think it was only for a few years. I only went to one of them at Matterley Bowl, and then it got moved. But I think there was some crossover with the crew as well.
Right, fair. No, I mean, I know it stopped, I think, in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And I moved to this country in 2013, so I was literally a year too late to experience that kind of beautiful party, man. But with regards to your music, I mean, you don't really limit yourself. I like to see, I mean, your nighttime science is honestly, it's incredible, dude. Honestly, I listen to it and I'm just like, yep. Why do I even have a studio? Why do I even try and produce my own music? But no, it's very inspirational. Your music, I actually quite, when I try and produce like slower BPM. I definitely look towards your kind of music and your type of sounds that you do. I know you use Ableton, don't you? I think you started off on Cubase or Reason.
Yeah, I started off on Reason, and then I was using Cubase, and then again, I guess going back a few questions, I only started using Ableton once I moved to Edinburgh.
Okay.
Because I needed to reinstall everything on my computer. And basically, I couldn't afford the newer versions of Cubase. They were just super expensive. whereas Ableton 10 was available for me, and I could afford Ableton 10, and it was fine, and it was there, and it worked. And I was going to be using it for live sets anyway, so I was like, well, I'll just carry on using it.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
So yeah.
No, how have you taken to it? Do you enjoy it a lot? I mean, because I know, you know, the stock plugins like Operator, you know, you don't really have to look far to actually get, you know, a good decent sound, you know, with Operator. But yeah, what's your opinion on it? Because I know there's so many what do you call it, DAW wars, you know. Oh, Cubase is better because the engine is better, you know. Ableton's shit because the engine doesn't run as smoothly as this, and then Pro Tools is like, you know, top dog because it's industry standard. It's been industry standard for 20 years. And
I guess the only question I really have for DAWs is, does it run Serum?
Yeah, all right, okay, so that's your go-to, huh?
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's just such a powerhouse of a synth, isn't it? And then you can put your own wavetables in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as for Ableton, I just think it's so easy to use. I mean, maybe that's because I've been using it for live sets all this time, but it just seems intuitive to me.
True.
And yeah, the stock plugins are just spot on a lot of the time. Like, you don't need to go much further than the stock plugins. And Max for Live, just awesome.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's a rabbit hole.
Anything you could think of. Oh, I know. You could get on the Max for Live forums and you're just like, soon your computer's just full of random stuff that you're probably never even going to scroll down far enough to get to.
that was literally my entire week last week, mate. I was just like, what am I doing now, man? I've got, you know, such random names like Dog Does This, and it's just like, what? But hey, you know, you got to try things out. But no, I think that's definitely an incredible thing about, you know, Ableton is the Max for Live compatibility. But have you looked into Massive's new plugin, Massive X?
I haven't actually at all.
Oh,
I haven't even watched any videos on it or anything.
Mate, honestly, dude,
I was so hyped for the release and then just kind of forgot about it.
I'm the same. Literally, someone commented on a video the other week, and he was like, "Dude, please, can you make some tutorials on Massive X?" And I'm like, I completely forgot this thing existed. So I went and got Massive X. I think about beginning of last week, and I've been trying to take a few, you know, hours to just dive into it. And honestly, it's insane, dude. I think with regards to lead creation and just kind of weird sounds, they've really upped the ante as opposed to the last version of Massive. So I highly recommend it, definitely, man. But dude, you know, Serum, you can't ever forget about Serum. It's definitely you know,
I think that's so much of my process is actually not in the synthesis, because I'm not very good at synthesis.
Right.
Well, I'm not. So I do most of the stuff I do is audio editing and just make a simple but powerful sound. You know, nothing complex going on. And then again, one thing I think Ableton just amazing. It's audio manipulation.
True.
And you know, all the different styles.
Yeah.
You know, again, all the Max for Live stuff. You can just make noises tweaked out, and then, you know, the classic throw shit at a wall, see what sticks, find all the really nice bits that you enjoyed, and then arrange them.
Yeah.
So I've always worked more that way than I have actual synthesis itself. So I haven't really felt the need to get that many more synths. Like, I used to use a lot of the Reactor stuff, and you know, I used to have whole heaps of different synths, but most of them I've just kind of ended up not reinstalling because I wasn't really using them.
Yeah, I think that's the key, really, is find a synth or two, learn the hell out of it, you know, get used to it, get used to how it works, You know, and then like you say, just throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what works. You don't need 1,000 plugins or 100 plugins because you know your friend down the road is saying you're using this and this and this, and you know all the big artists around the world are you know downloading this and promoting this. And but I guess, you know, if you had to give a tip to someone who's just starting out, you know, with regards to, I guess, maybe plugins or, you know, approaching music production, anything like that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's the standard to say, but just make your own kick drums.
Yes.
It's changed and improved the sound, all my tracks, so much.
Yeah.
Stopped using samples.
Yeah.
And as soon as I made one track where I made my own kick, I was just like, well, there you go. I've wasted 2 years of my life, haven't I?
Finding that perfect kick. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No, because yeah, I mean, I also, you know, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Make your own kicks because it just changes the game. It changes your production, man, and it improves your. It's weird because you start from the ground up, and then you know, just as soon as you got the kick done right, then your bass kind of falls into place, and then your percussion will start falling into place, and your leads will start falling into place. It's weird. But yeah,
It's amazing. And
I fully
it's
agree.
just the fundamental of the track, isn't it? So, you know, you've got to have it defines what you're going to do with the rest of the track in a way.
Exactly. No, I couldn't put it better. So what are you using? Are you using Kick 2, Nicky Romero's bassism? Kick 2, eh?
Kick 2. You know, even sometimes I'm using Serum.
Wow, yeah.
You know, why not? You know, it's a sine wave. You know, you're just using a sine wave and modulating the pitch and the volume.
That's it.
Any synth can do that.
That's it.
It's just depending on what you're feeling at the time. You know, Kick 2 obviously has huge advantage.
Yeah.
Graphics.
Yeah.
The amount of modulation and the amount of tweaking you can do to it. Really precise stuff. But, you know, if you don't have it, nothing saying you can't use any other synth that has a sine wave. You know, every synth ever.
even operator, man. Just get some operator going, and you can get something done there, man. I mean, do you keep it all in house with Kick 2, or do you kind of just start also processing it a bit more? And
well, I guess that leads me on to the other thing that I was going to say when you asked me about the advice for new people. Was going to be, don't worry too much about compression. Like, so many of my tracks don't even have any compression at all.
Okay.
Literally none. And I think kicks are a prime example of that, because actually when the sound itself is so simple, like a kick drum is, actually anything you're going to be doing to it is going to be making the sound less, is what you want a kick drum to be. If you think about it, I know you know the way speakers work.
Yeah.
Kicks are going to be around like sub 100 hertz is where the body of the kick is going to be. Speakers, because of the amount they have to move at those frequencies and how slow they have to move at those frequencies. Any harmonics are actually quite hard to produce and cause distortion.
Yeah.
So I normally find that actually any processing that I want to do to the kick drum can be done by just kicking your kick in Kick 2 itself.
Okay. Definitely don't over process. You know,
exactly.
Don't be scared that you're not processing enough, and don't be scared that you are processing too much. You trust your ears, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust your ears. No, I like that. That's actually some solid advice, dude. I couldn't say it better myself, dude. Make your own kicks, you know, and just
make your own kicks.
Yeah,
and be careful with compression.
Yeah, be careful with compression, dude. Oh man, honestly, I know too well, dude. Because when I was, you know, trying to mix tracks for, you know, different people on Fiverr and whatever, I was just going overboard with the compression. And you look back, and it's like there was actually an album I did for, I don't know what the guy's called, some high tech label that pretty much no one likes. sure you've heard the stories. Doombringer, that's his name, man. But you know, big up for
Oh,
the
that
opportunity.
Indian guy, he's always on that forum.
That's it, yeah, man. And he
Yeah.
got yeah, dude.
Did he get
You know,
you? Unlucky.
look, he said, do you want to master this album? I was like, hell yeah, you know, why not? I'll take the experience. And I learned, you know, that's that. I can look back and be like, yeah, I learned a lot because I overcompressed the hell out of every single track there, man. And it's like the worst thing out there. It's so overcompressed. There's no dynamics to it. All the tracks have kind of just lost its quality, but that's it. You gotta learn, man. You gotta learn.
Exactly.
No, dude, well, thanks, man. I think we're gonna start, you know, running out of time. I know we you know, got a lot quite covered, I guess. I don't know if you got anything more to say, just like some last shout outs. I do have one more question, is regarding you know, the kind of music that you want to be making. Do you see yourself, you know, branching out into any other genres in the future?
Well, yeah, I've never just made sidetracks anyway. I've always had other things going on. There's like, even though, you know, sidetrack, what I wanted to do, that was what I was really enjoying doing. I felt like I couldn't just do sidetracks. It would start to feel too much like something I was forcing myself to do, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I guess that wasn't a conscious, when I stopped doing my band and I didn't have another going on and I was just doing sidetracks, I felt a bit like that. But I've been making some, like, I don't know whether it's house or techno or what it is, but like some really minimal stuff. You know, I was listening to some early Deadmau5, really early Deadmau5, super minimal tech vibe he had going. And I was like, you know what? This whole stands the test of time.
Yeah.
I think it's just fantastic, and it's simple enough with, you know, you will always understand it. You might not be in the mood for it, but everyone will always understand it. And also it gives you the space to really show off production. True. I don't think I have production skills enough to pull off yet, but I feel like, you know, that's how you learn, isn't it? That's how 100%. You learn.
No, I respect that, dude. I love Deadmau5, man. I don't care what anyone says, dude. Especially his old stuff. I mean, his melodies are just incredible, dude. You know, just the way he produces those kind of, you know, sounds and textures. It's good, man. It's good to keep, you know, yourself not locked into one specific genre. But yeah, no, I'd love to hear some, man. If you ever, you know, have the confidence or feel like you want to release some of that stuff, or just, you know, put it out there, man.
Yeah, I'll send it over. I'm just finishing off an EP. I say finishing off. It's been finishing off for a long time now, but I've got the 4 tracks pretty much done. 3 tracks I'm solidly happy with.
Yeah.
I just need to eventually get this last one done, and then, yeah, you know, I want to do something with it. I'm really happy with it, but
nice, man.
I'm not in that scene. I don't know where to send it, who to send it to, but I'll definitely. I've just been sending it to, you know, people like yourself who I've told about it so far.
For sure, it's a start, you know. But no, just put it out there, I guess. If people resonate with it, you know, they'll come. But I don't think that's the end goal anyway, you know. It's just kind of, let's just make music.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, no, dude, I look forward to listen to some more of your tunes, and you know, keep at it, dude. Is there any last words that you want to say? Any kind of shout outs, promotions, any kind of upcoming music? I know we touched on it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, thank you to you. This has been fun. It's been really nice to catch up.
Nice, yeah, you too, man. I'm glad you enjoyed.
And yeah, honestly, as we were saying earlier, shout out everyone doing the live streams, and all the promoters still putting on their parties and doing amazing things. You know, like Subterranean Dwellers over in California, they were doing these streams, festival lineups every weekend. You know, and it was fantastic. Yeah. And also shout out to Josh Eritas.
Yeah.
Because he's been an absolute gem over this time. been messaging each other every day. We haven't been stressing about making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just a lad. Love him to bits.
Big up. Brilliant, man. Nice one. Well, we'll end it there, dude. Jack, honestly, thank you so much for your time, man. I know you're quite busy this week, but I appreciate taking the time out to chat. And dude, it's been great. It's been great catching up, dude. Hopefully, we can actually catch up, in person on the dance floor very, very soon, dude. Either that
or
or
a
in
whiskey
Scotland, man.
distillery.
Oh yeah, dude, whiskey distillery for sure, man. No, dude, I look forward to it, man. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much, and I wish you all best and have an amazing evening, dude. We'll chat soon, man.
Nah, cheers. Dude.
All right,
See you soon.
Peace, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.